I'm Ufoma Thompson.
I'm Dolapo Akinbisola.
My name is Victor Famubode. I am at Lagos Startup Week 2023.
Could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Okay, Dolapo Akinbisola, country head at SmartComplyApp. Basically driving cybersecurity compliance for startups in Africa.
Okay, and what has your experience been like so far within the startup space and just driving innovation within the cybersecurity space?
Okay, to be very honest, adoption of cybersecurity in the space is still very, very low. Again, some factors. Cybersecurity is quite expensive. So what you find out is that, and again, startups have very limited resources. So most of the time, prioritizing cybersecurity, if you place it side by side, maybe investing in marketing or something, you find out most of the time they want to give more money to, marketing or something, or building the infrastructure rather than cybersecurity. So that has been one of the biggest challenge. But so far so good. I can say I can pass for a cybersecurity evangelist. So we are preaching the gospel, and it's growing, but it's still very, very, it's at the nascent stage here.
Speaking about it being at nascent stage and being an evangelist for cybersecurity, I want to paint a scenario, right? Since it's still in the phase where I believe that a lot of times lack of adoption of a thing sometimes has to do with lack of understanding.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, and that affects the importance of it. So what advice or what tips would you give to any startup in its nascent stage, starting out? They don't have such a large budget. What key things should they look out for in driving the adoption of cybersecurity within their startup, within their company?
Okay, so one first thing that every founder should know is that the cost of a cybersecurity attack is far more, it far more outweighs whatever amount you need to invest, right? So, for instance, you have a data privacy breach, and the customers are, calling for your heads, right? You suffer a lot of reputational damage, probably lose your funds, really. So if you look at what you tend to lose when you suffer an incident, you'll probably think, might be wiser to invest, right? Now, that being said, it's important for for startups to begin to, think cybersecurity. Like I used to say, from the day you write the first line of code in building your infrastructure, it's better you begin to incorporate, the right cybersecurity frameworks, infrastructure. Because again, startups are known for scalability. So you can have 5,000 customers today. Next month you might be hitting on 20K. So that means your infrastructure, the rate in which your infrastructure rates can be very unpredictable. And so it might be difficult for you to implement. It will be more costly to implement a cybersecurity program at that time. So it's important to begin to put it, at the front burner. So while you're building your infrastructure, begin to incorporate your cybersecurity, system for startups.
What are you looking forward to within cybersecurity space?
Okay, if there's anything, I would love to see more adoption. Again, our ecosystem is a growing ecosystem in Nigeria. And so it's important that we begin to intentionally, adopt some of them. If there's something I also want to see, one of the problem we have, and really why there is little adoption, is that regulation is also very weak. So the laws are there, but in terms of implementing those regulations, they are very weak. And so the regulator also need to begin to do their work, right? Ensure that for instance, as simple as Nigerian data protection regulation, NDPR. Every business, as long as you're collecting data, customer data, you need to begin to have NDPR. It's the minimum that you should have, right? But if there's a regulatory, stance, about it, then there'll be much more. So I would like to see regulators, do their job. I would like to see, startups begin to prioritize cybersecurity.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
speaking with us.